So what's today's session all about? We're going to be together for around about 30 to 40 minutes today, depending on how many questions we get through. We're going to start off by discussing, or I will be talking to you about the types of tools that are out there and indeed the type of tool that accessplanit is. We're then going to move on to discussing how accessplanit can help, and I will be giving you some real life case studies, and I will be showing you one or two screens within the system itself. And then we're going to finish off today's session with a Q&A session, just to make sure anyone who's out there who has any questions, please feel free to ask as many as you like. So without further ado, we'll move on to discussing the types of tools that are out there. So you'll notice a little quote there that I've pulled off our website. So accessplanit is indeed a training management system. So essentially the aim of our platform is to bring all of the operational teams together in one central place, help automate and streamline processes in the end-to-end kind of life cycle for your customers, so everything from that kind of first initial interaction with the client all the way through to delivery and aftercare. You'll also, I'm sure, will have come across other systems like learning management systems. Slight difference there, that is more focused on the administration, assignment, tracking and access of learning and indeed materials, and the emphasis is placed more on the learner experience as opposed to the processes that support that. The systems, learning content management system is another one. The difference there is that platform integrates authoring, delivery, publishing, and analysis of that content across a few different environments. In terms of how to prioritize which tool to look for, it completely depends on each and every one of your businesses and where you feel you need help. So if you are looking for a system to help streamline and reduce the kind of spend on administration and processes, then a training management solution is absolutely right for you. If you're looking to improve your learner management and that kind of delivery of those courses, then a learning management system is going to help you there as well. And the content management systems are more centered around organizations that have teams that need to collaborate on the creation of the actual content, the authoring of those assets, and then the distribution of those out to teams. In terms of accessplanit, we do also encompass functionality that kind of falls under the learner management system umbrella. We do have an end user experience. We do have a kind of department head level of access, which can be used by commercial partners as well. And we do have a whole host of clients that are pure commercial training organizations, others that are pure kind of internal training teams. And we do also have support people who do a bit of both of that. So depending on kind of where your priorities lie, really kind of tells you what kind of system you should be investing in. In terms of using multiple systems, absolutely that goes on all the time. So yes, you can use our system as a learning management system. Yes, you can use it as a TMS. If you wanted to use a separate LMS, a lot of people will connect them to a TMS, and the same for that content management piece. There's plenty of other types of systems out there. I'm sure we've come across this jargon before. Authoring tools, ERPs, CRMs, they all encompass elements of this. The difference being that these systems on screen currently are focused specifically at our industry, either training or indeed learning management. So bearing in mind that we are indeed that sort of TMS, LMS blend there, let's move on to discussing how accessplanit system can indeed help each and every one of your businesses. So we're going to break that down today. I've just pulled out 3 areas that we're going to look at in a little bit more detail. They are the ways in which we can help you add value through automated communication, ways we can add value to your business through resourcing and managing courses, and ways we can add value to your business in terms of increasing kind of business insight and indeed management reporting within your organization. So starting with communications, essentially when it comes to adding value to businesses, we do that through automation. So the accessplanit system can help you automate the ways in which you communicate with your clients, first of all, with the learners as well as any internal teams. And in terms of the kind of the possibilities, when it comes to kind of course management, distribution information, we can pretty much automate absolutely every one of your communications. And that's going to help you increase your engagement. It's going to help you increase your support. And it's also going to help you increase the impact of that learning. So again, kind of breaking these down into individual kind of aspects. How do we help you increase your engagement? A lot of that is down to you guys and leveraging your content. So you'll all have content around your courses, around your instructors, around your businesses and what you really excel at. And it's about really taking that information and cascading to your clients effectively. Every single time you communicate with your clients, that communication should add value to that course or to that life cycle. So that is things like giving them embedded content in communications, making sure they've got all the documentation that they need, making sure, even if you want to, that you're kind of drip feeding them bite-sized e-learning packages. And our platform can do that, can support that both before and after courses. And it is completely up to you how you communicate with your clients. There's no kind of set format to follow. It's completely down to each and every one of you. What I really like about the accessplanit system specifically is that it gives you the flexibility to actually communicate with different types of clients differently. I was speaking to a higher education authority recently. 60% of their business is B2B. So a lot of people here, I'm sure, will be kind of on that side of the fence when it comes to business or public. 60% was B2B, 30% of that chunk was from their top 10 clients. So you can imagine that in terms of ring fencing performance, ring fencing profitability, those 10 clients really needed to be handled differently. And our platform can give you the ability to do exactly that, communicate with them differently based on who it is that's enrolling, which course they're enrolling on, even if it's an in-house compared to a public course. That can all change the ways in which you guys communicate with your clients. And that should enable you to, as I say, kind of increase that engagement, increase that value proposition, which means you will be building and maintaining stronger relationships with your best customers. In terms of increasing support and increasing impact, there's a really good case study on our website currently about First Intuition. And they came to us at the start of COVID. They train around 7,000 people per year, around about 16 training centres. Obviously, as I'm sure, same boat as everybody else, no longer able to deliver face-to-face. And so they kind of identified 2 points that they needed to make sure they could do effectively. And that was ensuring that they made that switch from classroom to virtual smoothly. So how do you do that? You make sure that you cascade that information. You increase the amount of support that you provide to your clients. That is through ensuring, again, you're giving them the information that they need. That can be as simple as distributing webinar information to them. If it's going to be a complex session and they're going to need to bring stuff with them, then again, you're going to need to cascade that information, and it's about ensuring that information is provided to them as quickly as possible. And I must stress here, it's not just about your learners, it's also about your staff as well. I'm sure each and every one of you have got trainers who are perhaps more technically astute than others, and it's about ensuring that we support our staff as well and ensure that our instructors, our facilitators, our trainers all have that same level of support and information to make sure that they provide that service for you. Because at the end of the day, it's those instructors who deliver that training for you and add that value to your business. So it's really important that we increase that level of support through automated communications. It doesn't need to be arduous. It can run in the background and really help your business in terms of increasing that value proposition and reducing that burden on having to do it manually. And how do you increase the impact of your courses through communications? Really simple. Again, you've got that increased engagement. You are drip feeding them information beforehand. You're drip feeding them information after. And a part of that should be surveys and capturing kind of level of understanding that people have before they enter your courses, as well as their level of understanding afterwards. And that is down to how, as I say, how you capture that feedback. With accessplanit, you can send 5 surveys per course, before the course, after the course, which means you can gauge that level of understanding. But if you're sending them incrementally more and more evaluations as time goes by, you can understand and ascertain that level of impact. If it's dipped, then you can start to offer them additional kind of bite-sized courses. If it's maintained that level of impact, then you can shout about that. You can provide reports to your clients and cascade that information to all the key stakeholders around those courses and around those clients. So in the main, those are the 3 ways we've helped kind of First Intuition kind of tackle that COVID solution. As I say, there's a case study online if you want to kind of take a look at that. Please do visit our website and feel free to dive into that in a bit more detail. It's full of hints and tips, and we have provided additional kind of COVID-related webinars and materials about how to increase support for your trainers, and indeed during the actual sessions, how you can kind of increase impact within there. And I'm glad to say that First Intuition has certainly seen a rise in that in line with the changes they made. So moving on to resourcing and managing courses. Now we are going to dive into the system here, guys. So bear with me whilst we change screens in a few seconds. We're going to look at a few different things. So we're going to look at how you can utilize software to kind of increase utilization of your key resources. We're going to look at how you can empower your staff to increase the value of your training and decrease the amount of administration burden on your central teams. And we're going to also talk about how you can empower your customers to help you with that. So how do we do more with less? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move into the accessplanit system itself. And you'll notice the first screen that we've kind of arrived at is what we call a dashboard area. I'm going to go into this in more detail a little bit later on when we look at Business Insight, but essentially this area is the kind of first port of call for any administrator when they log in. This is an example. We will actually configure this to your ways of working, to your kind of footprint, and you can kind of mold this to your ways of working. As you can see, this one is giving me an overview on what's going on within the business in terms of how much money we're spending, how many resources we need to assign, what kind of resources are we utilizing. It's giving me visibility over my upcoming courses. It's giving me alerts on things that I need to action straight away. So already I've got a kind of understanding of what needs to be managed. In terms of how we increase utilization, it's all about visibility. So if I just click down here and go to our resource calendar, what it will do is it will give me an overview of absolutely every resource I have in my system. Now, the reason why I'm not saying trainer or instructor is for accessplanit, anything that you use to run a course is considered a resource. So in this particular system, I've got everything from electronics, safety equipment, catering companies, I've got vehicles, I've got accommodation. It is completely up to you what resources you want to track. Once you assign a calendar slot to them, what that means is you can then understand their availability, you can understand what they've been scheduled to deliver, you can manage their competency to make sure that you're only assigning instructors that are qualified to their relevant courses. And it means that everyone is aware of what they need to do. Now, a lot of people, when I show them this calendar, they say, that's great. I can see everyone who's available. But, I can see there straight away that you've got a clash in there. How are you going to alleviate that quickly? It's as simple as clicking and dragging and dropping. So I can see there that Ed, he can't take that course. I'm going to move that up to Simon. And with a couple of clicks, I've alleviated that issue. It's also cascaded that information across to anyone who's attended, and it's advised the key administrators that we've made that change. So not only have we alleviated that issue, but we've also cascaded that out to absolutely everyone who needs to be told of that change. So moving on to the next aspect, and that is empowering our staff. So how do we do that? So with accessplanit, we are what we call a permission-based system, and you can choose to open up a level of permission to your instructors. It is completely up to you. You don't have to do this. And the beauty of accessplanit is this is actually configurable on a trainer by trainer basis. So I mentioned a little bit earlier on, some instructors will be perhaps a little bit more technically astute than others. And you can actually change that level of access based on things like, competency and ability to kind of complete tasks within the system. So in the main, what can they do? They can advise us of their availability. So they can come in here and they can update unavailability to advise us when they're not going to be in the business. And that will pull through into that central diary, which means we're not checking on utilising instructors when they're not in the business. So first of all, that central diary. What we can also do with this is we can actually integrate it with your Exchange. So if you are using Outlook, you don't even need to do that. You can simply use Outlook to update unavailability in your system, which is an absolute must-have for anyone who's got a lot of trainers running within the business. Moving on to course management, we can empower our staff, our instructors, to reduce the burden on our administrators. It means we can reduce the amount of time that we're spending doing day-to-day admin, we can reduce that physical labour cost, And we can actually even increase the value to our customers. And I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. So if we click on that course that I actually just reassigned, right click that, you'll notice it's opened up all these options for Ed, my instructor, to kind of manage that course in more detail. So he can access electronic signatures. So if you do need to capture a signature from people, you can tick that box. That level of auditability is there for you to do that. They can access key materials, they can download and generate documentation, they can mark attendance, they can manage their cohort, they can add delegates, they can mark attendance, they can access file store, they can access the coursewares, they can give you feedback. So there's a whole host of processes that you can pass on to your instructors and remove that burden from your administrators. Now, in terms of how that adds value to your business and how it adds value to your clients, by allowing your instructors to manage their cohorts, mark attendance, we can update our clients on things like no attends without needing to pass information from one person to another. The instructor can come in at the start of the session, mark attendance, and we've already talked about automated communications. As soon as that is done, that can automatically advise our key stakeholders, our clients, that top 10 people who are responsible for 30% of our business. We can advise them if they're no attends immediately. That's really highly important information for them. If they're taking time out of the business, it's costing money, and we can cascade that information quickly. It also means things like certificates, feedback forms, talking about that engagement, talking about that impact. That kind of loop is sped up by allowing our instructors to kind of manage those processes and delegating that out to them from our admin team. Moving on to how we then empower our instructors in relation to managing courses. So again, we are permission driven. So there is another level of access that you can actually open up to your clients, not just a learner. So obviously learners can access and manage their own training, can manage their e-learning, they can enroll in courses. But what I've just flipped to here is what we call the manager level of access. Now this level of access is given over to a key contact. So it's not an individual. It's perhaps a training manager, an L&D manager, someone who oversees either an individual account or a group of accounts or departments. And essentially what we can do is we can add a massive amount of value to their business by giving this level of access. It gives them information relating to their team, to their learners. We can advise them of upcoming news and broadcasts. So as you can see there straight away, the team, this particular client is aware of changes that have been made. They've got high level information, so we can actually configure that, or you can configure that to their ways of working, their KPIs, so they have the information that they need to hand. They can view their learners and the kind of progress that they're making against their targeted learning, their completed learning. We can give them access to calendar views where they can actually book their in-house courses, their public courses can all be, they can start to manage their enrollments from there. They can add new learners, they can manage authorizations, they can review their finance information. So again, we are removing the burden from our administrators from cascading this information to them. We're allowing them to manage their unnamed bookings, we're allowing them to register their own learners, we're allowing them to access their own finance information. So again, we're adding value to their business and we are removing the burden from administrators, reducing that requirement for you to have people there cascading that information. So it's all automated and it's all distributed out to the key stakeholders. What I would say about this level of access is it is completely up to you who you give this to. So you don't have to give this to everybody. If you want to have this as a value add, have that kind of conversation and manage that relationship and then give them this level of access, then it's completely up to you. But it is incredibly powerful for anybody who manages B2B courses. So moving back to our PowerPoint, to our webinar, on to Business Insight. So how can our platform help you guys in relation to Business Insight? Again, I've brought this down into 3 areas. So first of all, we're going to talk about how Business Insight or how the platform can help you with quicker decision making. We're going to move on to discuss how that can help you increase accountability. And third, and most importantly, we're going to talk about continuous improvement, how you can use Business Insight and reporting to continually improve your business, be it compliance, be it profitability, be it satisfaction. Business Insight is going to be central to how you do that. Again, I've got a really good example of this, and you can access this on our website. Creative Education, one of our clients, came to us during COVID. They took the opportunity to kind of focus on pivoting to a new way of working, a new way of delivering courses, and they use Business Insight to manage this heavily. So if you do want to take a look at that again, visit our website. It is available on there. Again, what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the system, and I'm going to show you a few key calendar screens. And as I say, we're going to focus on these 3 areas. So talking about quicker decision making. First of all, what we're going to discuss is that dashboard area in a bit more detail. So going back to our system here and into the dashboard area, you'll notice that I've actually got a few different ones here. So the most important thing for you guys to remember about these are examples. This area of our system is completely configurable to each and every business and each and every role within your business, which means your staff will see the indicators that you want them to see. They will see the data that is pertinent to them and their way of working. So you are not molding your ways of working to us. It's exactly the other way around. We are molding the system to your ways of working, your processes, your key performance indicators. And what this does is it puts all that information in our administrators' hands. That's where they add value, taking this information and actually actioning it. So this one's kind of around the course administration. So straight away, I've got this particular person's got a good understanding of what's going on within the business. I can see we've got some courses that are running profitably. I scroll down, we can see what kind of tasks are ongoing. I can see I've got some unassigned resources that need to go on, that need managing. I've got profitability alerts. The system's actually bringing issues to me. And now my admin team is going to make those courses more profitable, or they're going to make those changes to remove them from our schedule if need be. Scrolling down to the very bottom, you can even have things like live management reports pulled through, information on compliance and the like. So it really will mold to your ways of working. So that's the first part of call when we talk about quick decision making. It's about making sure that our administrators have that kind of first snapshot. They know everything that they need to do. And even better, they can action it all from here. So if I actually want to manage that course in the third, check that profitability, I can get to it directly from here. If I need to check who my no attends are, I can drill directly into that data and I can start to manage those processes from there. What I'm going to move on to next, and this is a lifesaver for anyone who needs to make changes en masse or quickly. So for example, when COVID happened, I'm sure you all had a whole host of sessions, a whole host of courses to make changes to potentially cancel, to potentially rearrange. And what I'm going to show you now is how you can do that in the system and how you can get to those courses quickly. So I'm going to go into what we call a data grid. Now, again, the most important thing for you guys to remember is these views are completely configurable to your ways of working. So just because I'm viewing these columns doesn't mean that each and every one of you would have to view them. I've got a bank of filters to choose from the top here, and that is completely up to you. So what I'm going to look at now is I'm going to very quickly ascertain any future courses that are running at a loss, and I'm going to cancel them in a couple of clicks. So it's as simple as setting those filters up, future courses, negative profitability, and straight away I've got to those 3 courses that are running that need managing in more detail. So the next step for me is to actually update those and get them cancelled off with a couple of clicks. So it's as simple as moving across the bulk edit, selecting those courses and hitting cancel. And that will then update every one of those delegates that are booked on. It's going to tell the instructors, it's going to tell the facility managers, any stakeholder who needs to be advised of the fact that we've made that change is advised and cascaded to immediately. So not only are we actually looking at that data and ascertaining what's going on within the business, but off the back of that, we are making real changes that can impact profitability and impact the success of our business. So that is by far one of the best features of our system, the ability to give your administrators the information that they need to make quick decisions to impact your business, successfone So moving on to the increasing accountability. So right at the start of this session, I talked about one of the main focuses of our system being pulling disparate teams into one place. So we are all using one central source of truth. We all know we're all working with the same data, the same information. So your finance team, your course coordination team, your sales team, they are all viewing that information in one place. Now, our platform, we've talked about automated communications, can also automate and distribute tasks within the business, which means everyone is aware of what they're responsible for completing. And in terms of oversight, key managers can view what's going on, who's completed what and when. Again, it's as simple as going to the relevant area of the system to ascertain that. So that's going to be specifically tasks. Again, really simple. I'm just going to look for tasks that haven't been started, and I can quickly see who it is that needs following up with. And if I need to make a change, maybe I need to email that colleague and ask what's going on. Maybe they've gone on holiday and I need to get them changed over. So I can, with a couple of clicks, I've made that change. And again, we're actioning things, we're increasing accountability. We all know what we're responsible for, what's been completed. And because we're all in that one system, we can all view and manage that in one place. So moving on to the final step with Business Insight, and that is continuous improvement. So as I mentioned, our client, Creative Education, they are a really good example of how to use our report writing tool successfully. So we have within the system a number of levels of reporting. Obviously, we've seen a few straight away. So we've seen our dashboard areas, we've seen filters, we've seen the ability to bulk edit. And hopefully you get a picture that the whole system is essentially one giant kind of reporting tool. Now, when it comes to continuous improvement, currently in this kind of new way of working, new kind of norm, it's very difficult to understand, which products are going to be most popular, which products are most profitable, which products need help with, which ones are running well, which ones aren't. So in terms of how we can help you with that, automated reporting is a big part of that. So our reporting tool can actually automatically write and send reports out to key stakeholders. So we can very quickly start to ascertain the level of profitability across courses. We can create league tables, we can create pie charts, we can output feedback reports so that you can check on how your learners are getting on with the courses that we're running. And I can't stress enough that if you do not have a tool to do that, how are you supposed to understand not just profitability, but also popularity? Because if we know that if our least popular courses are the most profitable, then we know we need to focus on making them more popular, and vice versa. So that is how we help you with that automated reporting in tandem with evaluations. So I've already talked about that when we talked about communication. Again, the system is built to send evaluations and report on all the data that's captured within those. That is filterable on course type, it's filterable on venue, it's filterable on instructor. And what that means again is you can then measure the level of value that those resources add to your business. And again, you can then understand in terms of continuous improvement where you need to spend time making those improvements. And that is about all I've got for you in terms of what I'm going to show you today. I appreciate there are a few people on today's session who haven't seen our product before, and I'm sure there are plenty of questions out there. So anyone who has a question that they'd like to ask now, please feel free to add them into that question and answer box. If you'd like to speak to me directly in more detail, my contact details are on screen. Please feel free to get in touch via email. Please feel free to give me a call if you want. I am active, very active on LinkedIn as well. So if you'd like to connect with me, again, ask any questions there, then I will be happy to field any of those. So just looking at the questions that have come in, let's have a look. So is the term delegates equivalent to class participant? Yes, absolutely, and that is configurable as well. So I use delegate, if you use learner, student, terminology changes can be made within the platform. Is there any cheat sheets in the knowledge desk of creating these dashboards? Absolutely. So we have an online help guide. So if you need help, we do offer unlimited telephone support to all our clients. But if you've got an issue, you don't understand how to do something, you can access our online help guide, and it is full of hints and guides and helps on how to create dashboards. And we do also offer dedicated customer success managers, and I'm sure they would be happy to help anyone out there who is an accessplanit customer who needs some help with dashboards. Your CSM's there and they will be happy to help you. Does accessplanit integrate with a file maintenance platform called cFile? Great question. I can't say that we offer a native integration with that system. We do have APIs across the platform, so we could potentially look at integration, but that is kind of on a case-by-case basis and very much down to what you're trying to achieve there in terms of file maintenance. Happy to discuss that in more detail, Jeff, if you'd like to contact me directly. then feel free to get in touch. A few other questions coming through. How does the system link to accounting systems? Great question. So a couple of ways we can do that. We do offer native integration with a middleware called Zing, which connects out to finance applications Xero and Sage. We also have an API available for transactions and invoices, which again you can use to link out to cloud-based systems. Some of our clients who are using very specific ERPs for finance, who perhaps aren't cloud-based, we do offer other integration points, again discussed in more detail on a one-to-one basis. So if that is an absolute must, then please do again kind of get in touch directly, and I'd be happy to discuss that in more detail. And what technology is it built and developed? So we are SQL database written in C#, jQuery as well, and our APIs are RESTful, written in JSON, and accept HTTPS responses. So some great questions coming through there. Does the software have credit card purchase for delegates to buy a seat for a course? Another great question from Jeff. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So online enrollment is a big part of how we support our clients who are commercially focused, who offer open courses. You can push schedules from our system out to your website, and you can absolutely accept credit cards from major payment gateways, people like Stripe, PayPal, Barclays EBDQ, Adyen, people like that. So yeah, absolutely, you can accept credit card purchases for your delegates. What I really like about our system is the finance area is really flexible, which means you can actually configure which types of payment methods clients can have access to. So if you want, for example, your credit customers to go online and be able to accept an invoice from them, then you can open it up to just those people. They can go online, they can book online still, register online, request their invoice. Your self-sponsors, Joe Public, has to pay up front by credit card. So it just gives you, again, that flexibility to deal with your clients differently and add value to their business by allowing them to use that facility online 24/7, 365 days a year. Can you communicate with delegates via SMS? Absolutely. So again, really important that you understand the best method of communication with your clients. We work with a lot of people in the construction industry. They don't necessarily have the same option when it comes to webinar delivery. Some of their assessments are practical and must be done face-to-face. And a lot of the feedback that we get from those types of clients is our learners don't necessarily have access to an email mailbox or indeed read their emails. So can we support SMS? Absolutely. So you can send email as well as text message communications out from the platform. And again, it's completely up to you what they look like and how many you send. I trust this is a cloud solution. Yes, we are a cloud solution. We are hosted in Azure and our data centers are within the UK. We are also ISO 27001 accredited. Do we offer or can we support blended learning, delivery options, face-to-face, e-learning, document-based, webinars? Absolutely you can. So we can support all of those options, and we do offer what we call sessional courses, which gives you that blended approach. So I did mention at the start of this session, kind of drip feeding, adding value by drip feeding any e-learning that you might have to your learners, to your clients, either before the course or after the course. And that is a great way to increase that engagement, increase that relationship, and indeed enforce that impact of that learning. So yeah, absolutely, we do support a blended learning approach. I think we're about out of questions. So I think I've got one final question to come through. If all learning leaders are in an organisation believe that they need a TMS or an LMS or an LCMS, how would you propose they need to present and sell that to upper management? That's a really good question. So essentially, what you need to do is you need to define the must-have requirements for your business. So, for example, an LMS, usually the way that they fall down, or LCMS, the way that they fall down is they do not tend to have much functionality around managing resources, as our system does, managing your classrooms, managing your equipment, managing your instructors. They're very much more focused on that learner experience. So depending on where your priorities lie, you're going to need to utilize either a single system that encompasses that TMS, LMS as we do, or an LMS that has kind of bolted on kind of resource management piece. So it comes down to what your requirements are. where you feel you need to prioritise. But if you are looking to kind of streamline and reduce administration and administration costs, then a TMS is the way to go. If that's not a driver for the business and you are looking to increase and distribute your content, and you have a team of people that are kind of tasked with writing those for you, then the focus will very much be on investing in that LCMS. So it just depends on, as I say, kind of where your priorities lie and what kind of efficiencies you're trying to make. But if it is very much on that kind of reducing cost, increasing efficiency, then the TMS/LMS route is the best way to go down. So we are about out of time. I've got one more question that I can answer, which is we are regarding kind of using our system outside of the UK. So in India, there are many rules about data privacy. How can you help store data locally? So as I say, we are ISO 27001 accredited, which is the main information security accreditation. So information security is at the heart of what we do as a business. Our platform is also very secure and all of your data is encrypted. In terms of storing data locally, perhaps in India, wherever, we are open to different kind of hosting solutions. So some of our clients do choose to self-host. We always try to advise people move away from that because obviously it's much easier for us to support you if we're using our own in-house hosting options. But yeah, you can host yourself. We are open to different hosting solutions. And one final question, which is languages. Do you support other languages other than English? We do offer translation within the platform. It does require localization from someone within your organization. We are also kind of native English speakers in accessplanit. So you will need to localize it yourself. But yes, we do support multiple languages. The questions just keep rolling in here, guys. Can you link to Moodle? Andrew Ward. Yes, absolutely we can. So you can absolutely link your system up to Moodle. We do offer that kind of native integration with that system. And if you're using a different LMS and you want to continue using that, we have got experience of integrating with plenty of others that are out there. We do have a user and a delegate and course or learner and course API, which you can use to link up to separate systems. Do you have an example of how you can add your courses to the LMS? Not with me currently. If you'd like to kind of look at that in more detail, please do contact me. My details are on screen and we can look at that together, Susan, if that is something that you'd like to do. As I say, please feel free to reach out to me and we'll book in a session and we can talk that through that together. One last question, is pricing based upon number of seats we would need for use and not upon our clients? So we look at two key metrics, Jeff. We look at the number of administrators that you have within your business. Administrators are not your instructors, not your client managers, just your admin team, your central admin team. And the other metric that we look at is what we call active learners. So an active learner is someone who is actively on a course with you. So if they are not on a course with you, they are deemed inactive and wouldn't be sort of charged for or go towards your licensing. So essentially it is kind of unique learners that you have within your business and the number of administrators that you have accessing the platform. And with that, I will leave you all to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much for your time today. Thank you very much for your questions, guys. Some really good ones there. If anyone, as I say, would like to talk to me directly or anyone else at accessplanit, please feel free to visit us on our website, reach out to me via email or indeed give me a call or link up with me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for your time. You've been great. And as I say, I'll leave you to it for the rest of the day.